So today I am playing Burgertime, which came out in 1982 for the Mattel Intellivision, and the original arcade machine actually came out in 1982 as well. Like most Intellivision games, there's 4 speed settings. I'm going to be playing it in the fastest speed, which you can get to by pressing the disc. Of course, the main goal of Burgertime is to assemble the hamburgers, which you do by walking over the separate pieces until they all gather at the bottom of the screen. I'm controlling the chef, which is Peter Pepper, and you're going up against Mr. Hot Dog, Mr. Egg, later on Mr. Pickle. There's different ways to kill the enemies, and you know, they're both worth different points. One way is just to wait until the enemies are under a piece and then just knock the piece down and it'll fall down on them, and that's worth 100 points per enemy that you squash. And another way to do it is to wait until they walk onto the whatever hamburger piece with you, and then you walk off of it and let the piece travel downwards, and instead of going down 1 level, the item will actually go down 2 levels, which is good because it, you know, assembles your hamburger faster. And it's also good because each enemy, like if you have 1 enemy on it, it's worth 500 points. If you have 2, it's 1,000. If you have 3, it jumps up to 2,000. And then it basically goes on up. Like if you have all the enemies on it, I think it's 8,000 points is what you get. Which is good because you need points, because every 10,000 points you get an extra guy. You can see your guys on the lower right hand corner, and that's how many guys that you have down there. And then on the lower left hand corner, you have your amount of pepper. Peppers are your attack. What they do is they temporarily stun the enemies, so you can actually just walk right on by them and, you know, it won't kill you, which is good. And you only have so many peppers, but you can get more peppers when various items appear on the map, and you only have like a certain amount of time to grab those items before they disappear. But you know, like 2 or 3 of them come up per level, so the odds of you getting them are pretty good. On the second level, I do my best to stay towards the top of the map for gathering more peppers, just for the fact that it's a larger map and the peppers seem to disappear pretty quick, so you'll want to be closer to the top if you want to stock up on peppers, which is actually a really smart thing to do, because on level 3 you can see that everything is really, all the items for the hamburger are really clumped together. I like to just go through this level as fast as I possibly can. I don't worry about collecting extra peppers on this level, I just kind of powerhouse through it. And of course, as you go on, the levels get more complex, and level 4 is the introduction of Mr. Pickle. Mr. Pickle is definitely an enemy that you want to avoid, and he has a little bit better AI than the other characters, it seems. The hot dogs are just total dipshits, so you can pretty much fool them really easily. The egg is really, he has like a lot of balls. And what I mean by that is basically, if you ever want an enemy to go down with an item so you can get that 500 points and have it go down a couple of rows or whatever, Mr. Egg is usually your best bet, because he will see you and he will come at you with full force, and luckily you're smarter than that. So a lot of people like to debate like what port of Burgertime is the best port of Burgertime, and I gotta say, I think they're all excellent. The gameplay is definitely there on every port that I've played. The Atari 2600 version is definitely lacking in the graphics department, but then again, most Atari 2600 games kind of are when you compare them to Intellivision games. Others will debate that the ColecoVision had the best port of Burgertime, and well, I'm kind of inclined to agree. If you look at the graphics for the ColecoVision port, they're very true to the original arcade. However, I think the sounds are kind of annoying on the ColecoVision version. That's just a personal opinion there, so. And I mean, the Intellivision version was always my favorite because it's the version that I grew up with, and it's the first one that I played, and it's my favorite version of it. And I think the Intellivision has a very good mixture of graphics and sound. It's definitely an excellent port. Of course, later on you could get Burgertime on the NES. That was a good port too, but I seriously think that they could have done a lot better with it. I mean, the ColecoVision version just walks all over the NES version, and that's just kind of sad, knowing the fact that the NES was a, you know, a whole generation ahead of the ColecoVision. So yeah, not too impressive there. This is level 7, which is actually the last level of Burgertime. But once you beat this level, you go back to the first level, but it's more challenging. Like, the enemies are a little bit smarter, a little bit faster and whatnot. And I can assure you that level 7 kicks my ass. I've beat level 7 numerous times in my life, but I think the most I've ever beat the game in a row was 3, and so yeah, it definitely provides some challenge, and as you can see, level 7 provides the most challenge because the platforms have dead ends. There's only one way in, one way out, so you gotta be pretty crafty, you gotta lure the enemies in and kill them, or you better have some peppers available, otherwise you're definitely screwed, and that's about it. As you can see, there's a really nice game over screen here, and then it has one final screen that shows you what level you got up to, and that way you can take a look at your final score, and you can also analyze the map, maybe plan a strategy out. Well, and that's basically the end of this review. It's definitely a very sturdy port of Burgertime. I really enjoy it. I've enjoyed it for many years, at least a good 20 years now, so I mean, it's that should tell you something. If I can enjoy this game for over 20 years, and you know that it has to be a good game. And I definitely prefer the Intellivision port over all of them, and I definitely think that if you have an Intellivision, then this is definitely a must-buy. It doesn't cost very much nowadays. You can pick it up for $1 or $2. If you have an Atari and an Intellivision, then I'd highly suggest this port over the Atari port. And if you have a ColecoVision, then you should probably get that one before any of them, because it's probably the best port. You know what? I think it's safe to say that any port of Burgertime is epic win. Buy them all. Until next time, guys. Later.